Office Uprising is a film I didn't even know existed until about 5 hours before I watched it. And I found out it was on Crackle. And that was the only place to legally watch it that I had access to. Somebody else told me it was on like DirecTV, Xfinity or something. I don't have that, so I couldn't be there. But I was looking through 2018 horror movies because I'm trying to get down, knocking out everyone that looks like it's worth my time to make a proper list. And I saw this was on the list. I clicked on it and I saw it starred Jane Levy. I was like, wait, what? And it looked like a Belko experiment or something. And I was like, how the hell don't I know about this? And so I found out it was on Crackle, which I didn't even know existed anymore. Sony Crackle, I guess Sony bought it or something. I don't know. But Crackle still exists. So I downloaded this damn app. My brother downloaded this app and we watched it on Xbox together. And oh God, guys, Crackle sucks so hard. and trying to time, because we have to time our movies together. So we press play at the same time. There was 8 commercial breaks throughout the film. And each one of them was 2 minutes long. But like 2 minutes long for me and 2 minutes and like 12 seconds for him, and then back and forth, and so we'd have to pause. Oh my God, awful. So Crackle sucks. All right, anyway, back to the movie. This was a film that started really strong for me. It's way more comedy than horror. Kind of feels like Office Space a little bit. And I like the lead guy here who's in Titans on the DC platform, that Titans like mature DC show with Robin and whatnot. He plays Robin in that show. And yeah, it was really funny and witty, and I was really enjoying it. And I don't know, like as it kind of kept going on, the jokes became more hit and miss. Like at first it was just all kind of hit, and then it was all like it did, like right around like second act it was like hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss, and I was like, eh. And then like at the end, I feel like at the end they were trying to do this like, let's go really freaking crazy over the top and have a bunch of fun with it, which yeah, I'm all for, do it. But for some reason it just all didn't work for me in the end. Like it felt like over the top for over the top's sake. And just almost none of the humor landed for me. I kind of just sat there blank faced for the whole last act. Here's another huge issue this movie has. Almost all of the gore is CGI, and it's terrible. Like bad CGI. And there's a lot of CGI on like the building, and there's a lot of really bad CGI in this. I'm not a CGI hater. You guys know that if you watch my channel. This kind of CGI, I think we can all agree, needs to die and go away, because it is so distracting and hurts films so much. It takes you out of it, because they could have been fun kills, they could have been cool kills. They weren't, because they looked so horrendous. I would rather they cut away. I would rather they do a cutaway, which I hate, than a close-up CGI that looks awful. If it looks great and it's CGI, fine. But if it looks horrendous, don't do it. So cut away. If you're working with a CG artist and he brings you in the footage of what he did, even though you paid for it, look at it and be like, the film would be better off without it. Cut that scene. Just cut away when they go to blow the guy's head off. People will know. Just spray a bunch of blood in his face like you get. Done. It does not need to be shown. It ruins the fucking film every time. Or at least that scene. What could have been cool is now not. We also get that in here from Blue Mountain State. I was a big Blue Mountain State fan years ago. I know it's weird. I do watch other things than horror, and I rarely watch comedies, but that show was damn freaking funny. And I love that character. So he was also in Blood Drive on the Sci-Fi Network, which I've yet to watch. I watched like 20 minutes of an episode, and I dug it. I really dug it, actually. I don't know why I haven't went back to it. Cars that run off blood. It looks cool. I gotta go check that out at some point. But I saw he was in that. I don't know how much he's in that. He might die in the first episode for all I know, but he looked like he was maybe a star. And we got a few other familiar faces. But the familiar face that I have already mentioned, Jane Levy, who I adore. I love her in Evil Dead. I love her in I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. I love her in Don't Breathe. I love her in Castle Rock, even though her character was pretty much pointless in that. I love her, okay? She didn't fit this film. I felt like, here's how I can explain it. If I had no idea who Jane Levy was, or Levy, how do you say her name? I'm gonna guess it's Levy. And I've seen her in Monster Trucks, which I actually really liked her in that as well. If I had never seen this girl before in my life, and I saw this movie, and I walked away from it, I wouldn't even remember her, outside of her being pretty. That's all. People would be like, oh, that's like the cute chick that he was into, whatever. I would not have remembered her. Her performance is not memorable. In fact, her performance is, it's not great. Because she's asked to do a lot of like, the film, if you don't know, I guess I should have went to synopsis way before this, so it shows you what a fucking classy reviewer I am. I am not professional, if you can't tell. Yeah, the synopsis is this guy works for this, freaking a gun company. They make guns, they make rockets, they make all sorts of shit. And there is a energy drink that has some kind of chemical in it that turns people into like these rage zombies, and they only seem to get worse and worse when they're irritated or agitated, but they seem to get agitated by pretty much anything. But Jane Levy's character drinks only half of a can, so she's only half infected. So if you piss her off, if you do something to piss her off, she goes full rage, and then she can kind of come back down and this and that. And her rage moments are not good. I felt like it was way overacting, and she just didn't sell it at all. And I don't know if that's because they didn't do an enhanced voice or whatever on her, but it just felt corny, and it hurt the film, and it hurt her because she's so wonderful. And I was like, no, what is this? Absolutely not. So that really brought the film down for me too. And I really liked the kid, though. He looks exactly like my youngest brother, Alec, which is weird. It was distracting me from the film. You ever had a movie where you watch something and a character looks so much like someone you know that you can barely focus on anything else except for like, that looks creepily like somebody I know, and it's fucking tripping me out. But yeah, no, man, this was strong start, soggy middle, very lackluster ending. What a shame. But I can't really get all that upset about it, seeing as how I didn't know the thing existed not 5 hours before I watched it. But if you want to watch it, it's on Crackle. Crackle's awful. Crackle is so bad. But hey, you get to watch the damn thing for free, so if you're tight on cash, then Crackle's awesome. You just got to sit through commercial after commercial, and for some reason, the Sprint commercials are 100 times louder than any other thing. Oh, it's awful. Anyway, guys, all right, let me know if you check it out. Let me know if you've even heard of it. I had not, and kind of wish I hadn't, because at this point, Jane Levy had remained, 100% for me, and now this is kind of a little bit of a stain, but whatever. It was not horrible. I enjoyed some of it, and I had some decent laughs, so it wasn't a complete waste of my time, but in the end, it was a very meh kind of film to me. All right.